Thank you very much for joining us today. Really appreciate your time. My name is Kelly Ronan, and I work at Pearson, the company that publishes Point de Connexion, which is what we're going to be discussing today. We'll be talking about it, and I'll give you a bit of an overview of the program, and as well, I'll give you a demo of the online components. And I'll make sure if anybody's interested in trying it out on their own, please make sure to send us your email address in the chat tool, and I will be happy to follow up with a demo for a trial for trying this out online afterwards. So just so everybody's aware, I've muted your microphones just so that we can cut down on the background noise. So if you have anything to say, questions or comments, please do either unmute your microphone and speak up. You're more than welcome to do that. Or if you would like, you could use the chat tool that comes with this webinar. It'll be in the toolbar for the webinar. And you can always send questions and comments that way. I won't be keeping a close eye on the chat, but once in a while I'll stop where I am and I'll move over to the chat and have a look and see if there's any questions. So, and as well, of course, at the end, I'm happy to stay on and answer any questions that you may have. Okay, so let's get started. We'll have a look. I have a few PowerPoint slides to get through, and then we'll jump over to the demo of the online components. So these are some or most of the guiding principles, what you're seeing here on your screen, of Point de Connexion. This is our new grade 9, well, it's not all that new anymore, but new-ish, grade 9 FSL product. And all of these guiding principles are focused on creating function-driven tasks. So the tasks occur twice in each unit, and they cover all the strands, of course, speaking, listening, writing, and reading. One task is designed to be used as formative assessment midway through the unit, and then the other task is more of a summative assessment at the end of the unit. And I did just want to touch on 2 points of these guiding principles. And the first one is culture. You can see here, culture connections is one of our principles. And the students explore similarity and differences between Canadian culture and other French-speaking African countries in this book. So each unit focuses on one African country. And there's also many opportunities for the students to compare their own cultural background. And then lastly, I do also just want to point out that in this program, the use of technology. So this intersects with the guiding principles. We don't have it as one of the guiding principles because it, in fact, technology use intersects with all of these guiding principles. And we do that through our eText, which is the student digital textbook. And I'll be showing you how that works a little bit later. Oop, my little clicker's not working, sorry. There we are. So Point de Connexion is mapped to the 2014 Ontario curriculum, as well as the CEFR. The 3 top sort of points of the CEFR is that the resource should have function-driven units, action-oriented tasks, and spiraled vocabulary development, and certainly this resource does. The language use is certainly authentic, and throughout the units, language patterns are explored. And students will be engaging with a variety of texts. You'll see this as I'm flipping through the pages of the student book itself. And the texts are in a variety of formats. So obviously we offer print, we offer audio texts, and as well digital format. And the texts themselves really do reflect the digital world that students live in now. So it's not just straightforward sort of stories that we're offering in the student resource. There's emails, online forums, social media, petitions, text messages, all the things that students would be interacting with in everyday world. So Point de Connexion is divided into 4 learning units, and you can see them here. And what we've done is we've given you the language context for each of the units. So Unit 1 is called On s'entend bien, and in it, students will be establishing and developing new relationships. Unit 2 is À mon avis, where students will give, seek, and respond to opinions. This is all about opinions. Unit 3, Je veux, j'ai besoin, is the students will express and respond to needs and wants. That's a big one. And Unit 4 is entitled J'examine les faits, where they critique and they use facts. This is a fact one. So I do want to take just a quick minute or two to talk about a few examples of the embedded differentiation that's in Point de Connexion. This differentiated instruction is very important at the grade 9 level, as I'm sure you're aware, because students really are coming to class with a wide range of abilities according to their own previous experiences. So what you see here on the screen is just one sort of quick example of differentiation that would show up in the teaching notes. So this might be either directly within your teaching notes or as a margin note in the teacher guide. And it shows there's really multiple paths to facilitating student success. And we do weave them into the lesson. So this particular one gives you, one example of how if students need more support, what you could do, consider drawing lines on a blank sheet of paper, blah, blah, blah. Or if students might need some extra challenge, we give you a suggestion here as well. So that's one type of differentiation in the teaching notes. And then another type, which is really the biggest way that this program uses or provides differentiation, is in the line masters, les fiches. So each of the line masters, each activity master, the students have the choice of 3 different ones. And so you can see snippets of 3 different fiches d'activité 5, 5A, 5B, and 5C. And each one does a different thing. It's all for the same activity, but fiche A, 5A, is for students who need more support, plus d'appui. So we put A. There are students who might need more independence. Fiche d'activité 5B is for them. We call that plus d'indépendance, more autonomy. And then fiche d'activité 5C is for students who need more challenge, plus de défi. So we offer literally 3 fiches d'activité for each activity. And now teachers, we're hearing, this program has been out in the market now for a couple of years, and we're hearing from teachers that these line masters are really used sort of in 2 different ways. Either the teacher decides which line master to give to each student, and that's a choice a teacher will make, having now worked with and known their students and they know what their needs are. Or oftentimes teachers will explain to students, these are the 3 line masters, that one of them provides more support, one of them provides more independence, more autonomy, and the other one provides more challenge. And they leave it up to the students to choose which one they are more comfortable with. So that's just 2 different approaches of how you could use the line masters. So at this point, I'm going to quickly stop and have a quick look at the chat and see if there are any questions. If you do have any comments or questions, feel free to type them into the group chat tool that's provided with this webinar. Otherwise, I'm going to jump over to our website now, get out of the PowerPoint, and have a look at the online component. So let me just get the window open properly. Sorry, I'll just be a quick minute here. Okay, so there we are. So I think you should be looking at our online version of Point de Connexion. This is what we call our eText platform. So what we've done is we've taken the student book, the printed student book pages. This is the cover that you're looking at here. And we've embedded it in a platform that you can view online. You can purchase online access for students, or you can purchase it just for yourself. Excuse me, I'm sorry. You could purchase it just for yourself, and you can project this in class up on the screen at the front of class, so you can at least have the student book projected using your computer and a projector. So the platform is pretty straightforward. It takes the pages of the student book. I'll just use the arrow keys here to flip through the first few pages. Let's get past the opening. We'll get right into the units. I can flip it over to two-page view, which is really how we are naturally looking at print books, is 2 pages left and right at a time. So now as I turn the pages, we are looking at 2 pages at a time, left and right. And one thing I do like to point out is that the print book and the digital e-text is the exact same page for page. So the content doesn't reflow or move around. As you turn the digital pages, and students, if they have print books on their desks and they're turning the physical pages, you're seeing the same thing. So as I'm turning here, you can have a look at some of the content, and you can also notice maybe that we do have icons placed on the pages. You can see where my mouse is hovering right now. So I'm going to have a quick demo. I'm going to just go back to the beginning and show you what these icons are all about. So because it's digital, we can add media to these pages. So videos, listening activities, games, these are things that you can't do in the print book, but you can in digital. So right now my mouse is hovering over a collection of icons up here towards the top of the page. And when I scroll down, there are different icons down near the bottom. I'm just going to explain these icons now. The icons down at the bottom are teacher icons. These contain the teaching notes from the teacher guide and the line masters the lesson plans that go with these pages. So here we are on pages 4, 5 of the student book. And here are the teaching notes and the line masters that go with those pages. So I'll just quickly click the teaching note icon on page 4, and you can see a PDF document opens, and it is taken directly from the printed teacher guide. We've embedded it right on the page. So in the end, if you don't want to flip back and forth between your print teacher guide and your digital student book, you don't have to. It's all embedded right there on the pages as you click through the book. So let's have a quick look at the lesson plans. So this is an example of a lesson plan at the beginning of the unit, student book page 4. We give you the lesson goals and the success criteria, the je peux, the I can statements that we encourage you to review together, go through these together with your students. You know, what materials you're going to need, what language skills are you going to be hitting on in these lessons. And then we get right into the lesson plan itself. So the lesson plan is divided into 3 parts. Starting text exploration. I'll just scroll down. And developing text exploration, that's part 2. And then finally, closing text exploration, part 3. So it's a typical 3-part lesson plan. You might be used to seeing the words before, during, and after. It's the same type of idea. So as I scrolled, let me just go back up to the start of the lesson, and I'll point out a few things along the way. Where's the start? There it is. So, of course, right away you can see here embedded right at the beginning of a lesson is some information about differentiated paths. Over in the margin note, facilitating interaction. So we do have some information in the program overview. It's sort of just some classroom management tips. this activity, this lesson, I'm pretty sure I saw a listening activity somewhere. Here we are, listening. So I can see, and based on this icon here where my mouse is hovering, that this activity, this lesson comes with a listening activity. So here in the teaching notes, we tell you, you know, how and when to play it, first listening, second listening, third listening. And we do also give you the script itself. The script is right here in the teaching notes. Before we get back to the e-text itself, we have a little opportunity for some assessment for learning is indicated right here in the margin. So always keep an eye on the margins and the boxes because of course there's helpful information included within your teaching notes. Okay, I'm going to go back to the e-text. So that was teaching notes. Every page, or sometimes every spread, every 2 pages, comes with teaching notes for the teachers. So that's where you find them. And then here's the les fiches. These are the line masters. I'll just click on one of them. It opens in its own window. These are PDFs of the line masters that are used and referenced throughout the teaching notes. So here's fiche d'activité 1A, 1B, and 1C. So don't forget these are all line master 1, but the A, B, and C are differentiated paths. And then we'll get into, oh, there's 1D even. So this one has even more differentiation. And then we get into fiche d'activité 2. So all of the line masters that you need for the lesson are included in this document, this PDF. And 3. Okay, I'll go back to the e-text. If you have any questions at all, please don't be shy to ask. And now let's have a look at the student-related icons. So let me just zoom in a little bit here so that it's a bit larger. There we are. So down at the bottom of the page are the teacher icons, teaching notes, and line masters. Up at the top, we've embedded some digital media for students. So we have a listening activity and an interactive activity on page 4. And on page 5, on the right-hand side, we have a listening activity, an interactive activity, and a démo langagière, a language demo. So let's have a quick look at all of these. So the listening activity, I'll click it.
En famille.
It plays.
Fiche d'activité 3A, 3B, 3C.
So this is a listening activity. It would be mentioned in your teaching notes, and in there it would say, if there's a line master that goes with it, the teaching notes would tell you to distribute the line masters. And you just heard at the start of the activity, she's saying 3A, B, and C.
Hey Nicolas, ta sœur arrive dans 5 minutes. Je prépare le souper. Viens m'aider.
Mais papa.
So this is a pure listening activity. There's no reading. It goes with the content of page 4, certainly, but the text from it is not written on page 4 because it is truly a listening activity. We've also included here an interactive activity. It's a little bit of a game. We've embedded these throughout the pages of the student books. And really they're just simple drag and drop, fill in the blank, multiple choice, match up that are really meant as engagement, practice for students. These are not meant, you could do them whole class, front of class, you could have them set up in centers. They're not meant for assessment, certainly. You're not collecting any data from these activities. It's really just a nice engaging practice. So, quelle image correspond à l'activité de cet ado? So, moi j'adore la planche à neige. I click B, verify. And then down in the bottom right corner, it tells you how many pages are in this activity. So I can see here pages 1 to 7. So I click next and I keep going. I'm not going to read these. Sometimes there's different, I'm just going to click. I can see these are all multiple choice. 6, 7. Yeah, so sometimes within one activity, there would be different types of activities. So drag and drop or fill in the blank. So this one is 7-page multiple choice activity that you can, do however you see fit in your classroom. So page 5 has a different listening activity, a different interactive activity. Let's have a look at that one and see if it's any different. Yep, so this is a drag and drop with phrases. So, okay, I'm not reading. So you complete the drag and drop, you click vérifier, 50% without even reading. And always keep an eye in the bottom corner to see how many pages are included in this activity. Here's one on page 3 that you're actually typing. So you're inputting with your keyboard. So let's go back. So that's another activity. And then we also have here for page 5 un démo langagière. It's a little video.
J'observe la langue et j'apprends.
Let me just turn the volume up.
Passé composé. As-tu la confiance nécessaire pour parler de tes activités passées? Voici des explications pour t'aider. Jonathan parle de son expérience en 8e année. Il dit: je ne suis pas sportif, mais j'ai adoré le voyage de ski.
So these are little short videos that are, anywhere between 2 and 4 minutes long. And they are specifically grammar support. This program does not have lessons that are grammar lessons, complete and utter grammar, but we do know that students need support in elements of the language. So we've created a series of these videos that touch on, le passé composé, la négation, utiliser les mots connecteurs. So there's different types, there's different aspects, elements of the language that we've provided a short little mini lesson for grammar support. And those are found using this icon, the light bulb icon. So I'm just going to turn the page and see if we can find some new icons. So here's another listening activity, another interactive game, and another language demo. And of course, down at the bottom, always ever present, is the teaching notes and the line masters for teachers. I do think there is so here's another icon, which is a video. So here we are on page 8. And this has an actual video, not a language grammar video, but a content-related video. I'll just click it. It opens in its own window, and I'll just let it load. Although I have to admit, when I tried to play this earlier, it took too long to load. I think I'm having some internet trouble, but let's just give it a quick minute or a quick few seconds. I don't want to waste your time today, so I won't wait any longer than that. But anyway, these are videos that we shot in classrooms and around Canada. These are Canadian students in different situations, of course, related to the content. Let me just close that. Related to the content, and we have students representing certainly the correct age group here for grade 9. We have different representation of ethnicities and also different representation of accents. Everybody is, of course, speaking French, but we have people speaking French with different sounding accents. One student sounds like, a bit more Anglophone. We have another student with a sort of an Italian accent as he's speaking French. So this is really important that the students that are in our classes today see themselves and hear themselves reflected in our content. So there's just a couple of other quick things I do want to show you regarding the digital student book. So there's one really important one. Up on the top toolbar, we have a speaker icon. So when you turn on the speaker, when you click the speaker, you are now in what we call audio mode. So any of those on-page icons have temporarily disappeared. So the listening activity, the video, the games, those are no longer showing. I'll just scroll down. The teaching notes, all of that is hidden. But what we've gained here is a play icon directly on the page itself. And this represents the text that's on the pages that we've provided in audio. So it's basically a read aloud of the pages. I'll just click it. Hopefully it doesn't take too long to
Le
load.
15 octobre.
There we are.
Salut, maman et papa. Vous voulez sûrement savoir comment j'ai passé ma première semaine au Canada, n'est-ce pas? J'ai fait beaucoup de choses intéressantes depuis mon arrivée et j'ai beaucoup appris aussi.
So we have recorded all of the text. I'll just zoom back out. All of the text that's on these pages, we've recorded it. So students who are reading can have the support of listening to the audio at the same time. So that's always very helpful when you're learning a second language. So one more thing to show you with regards to the digital, and I'm just going to go back to single page view. Because I do want to show you these folders over here on the left-hand side. They're only accessible when you're in single page view, and they contain some content here for you. So the first one is table of contents. So this is just a clickable way for you to navigate through the text. You can jump around from one unit to the next and from one page to the next using the table of contents. The next folder is Le Coin de l'Enseignant, the Teacher's Corner. So this is where we've taken all of your teacher material and for the entire program and put it all together. So here's your program overview for the whole program. Here is your teaching notes. So all of those lessons that appear on every page, we've taken them together and put them in one document. And the same thing with your list, with your fiches, les fiches d'activité and les fiches d'évaluation. And of course the answer keys for teachers. And again, we've taken all the multimedia, the audio, the activity, les interactives, we've taken the videos, we've put them all here in one folder. And very importantly, this folder here, Un peu plus. So if you are the type of person that gets through this program and you still have some time left in your school year, you think, wow, I wish I had more content. Well, we've provided you with more content. So in this section, Un peu plus, we've provided you with extra texts, textes supplémentaires et les ressources. So if you open les textes supplémentaires, we've given you a few more student texts that, you know, instead of printing them and putting them in the student book, we've put them here in the digital student book, the e-text. And as well, we've given you the teaching resources to go with it. So when you purchase this e-text, you really are gaining a lot. You're gaining all the digital media, all of your teaching notes, of course, embedded on the pages, and as well some extra reading selections and teacher guide material that goes with it. So let me jump back to the PowerPoint and just summarize, finish up where we were. Oops. Yeah, let's just get through these. Sorry, went back to the beginning. So for program components, it's pretty straightforward. There's two components. We have the student resource, which is either a print book or an e-text. So the same book in digital format with added media. And we have the teacher resource, which is either when you purchase the e-guide, which I just showed you, the student book, digital student book with the teaching information embedded on the pages. You also get printed teaching notes as well in a separate package. So your teacher stuff is all together, all in one, either print or digital. So really, one e-text is really all you need. If you are the type of person that's interested in the digital, you can project it in class and you have access to the videos, the listening activities, the interactive activities, the short mini lessons about grammar. We have the Un peu plus section. Plus, of course, you get your teaching notes and your line masters as well.